Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the 20-minute fashion distraction. I am Jacqueline Jenkins, the host of the 20-minute fashion distraction and the founder of Sophisticated Curations. We are the online content community for the savvy fashionistas. Um, I don't know if you've ever been so busy that you forget something really, really big. And that's exactly what I did this tonight. I forgot that tonight is a 2-year anniversary of the 20-minute fashion distraction. I know it sounds very, very crazy. Hey, mom. It's the weirdest thing. It's like it popped up on Facebook, and I realized that tonight actually marks 2 years of the 20-minute fashion distraction. So I don't know if that was just a mental block, because that also marked the beginning of us being indoors for like 2 years. Hey, Jocelyn. But it got me, I had to change my outfit. I wanted to put on something sparkly because I couldn't believe that the fashion distraction has been going for 2 years. So something that was only supposed to last, I thought, like a week or two, has grown into a whole 2-year thing. And so yeah, tonight is actually, hey, Claudia. Thank you, Jocelyn. I know it is kind of surreal that it's actually been 2 years. And so, but I thank you guys because I have enjoyed every Wednesday night. And I'm going to keep going with my Wednesday night as we go into year number three. But tonight is all about, I wanted to continue with the theme of Women's History Month. And so last week we had two diva diva attorneys speaking, and tonight I just wanted to share women that past and present that have inspired me. Hey, Leah, thank you. That have really inspired me with fashion, but also professionally, by what they've done. And so the way I wanted to do this was actually, I have four women that I'm going to talk about. And I was thinking, instead of introducing, I know, right, Jocelyn Champagne, I was thinking about, hi, Van. The way I wanted to introduce the women was we could do a little trivia. I want to read a little bit about them. And if you could drop in the chat if you think you know who the woman is. So the first woman she was the first woman who showed me how you could capitalize off of your name and your style. Originally, she's from Pennsylvania. She's not a Philly girl, but she's from Pennsylvania. And she later went on to gain such notoriety in modeling as the first African American woman to be featured on the cover of Mademoiselle. And I personally had the pleasure of meeting her in one of her restaurants. I think she had three restaurants, but I got to meet her in her New York restaurant. So she's a model. She was a model, a New York restaurateur. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Anybody want to take a guess? It's B. Smith. Let me throw up a picture here. Wait a minute, let me throw. Yes, yes. Wait a minute, let me throw up the picture. Yes, it's B. Smith. I first learned about B. Smith. Um, I think it was shortly after I was coming out of undergrad. And what I thought was so amazing about her was that I actually had seen a little bit about her modeling career. But then when I saw what she was doing in business, and at that point, when I first read about her, she did not have the restaurants. She had cookbooks, she had lifestyle, and she was doing selfies and images long before we were doing this stuff on Instagram. And she was just such an inspiration. Yeah, I know. So when I used to want to feel like an adult, right, Claudia, I used to go to the one in DC, her restaurant there, because it was just it just felt so fabulous. But yeah, so B. Smith really inspired me to think about how you use fashion to, or not so much fashion, just even really build a brand off of your style and image. And so she's really been, hey Jan, just a true trailblazer in my mind. Sorry she is no longer with us, but she really inspired me to think about how do you take this idea of fashion and actually build it into a business. So the second woman, and all you guys should know this name. I think you will. She's the wife of a magazine mogul, but now is known for bringing fashion for African American women around, all around the U.S. I'm looking to see if anybody's got it yet. Um, she closed every show with a signature scene of a wedding. Anybody know who I'm talking about yet? Um, and she was doing all size models long before anybody thought about doing all size models, but mostly she brought inspiration. She was innovative in the fact that she used a network of women from churches and community groups to sell organizations, to sell tickets to different organizations in major cities all throughout the U.S. And her fashion show really became a staple for highlighting African American women on the runway. I'm surprised. So I'm looking to see, does anyone have this? And she also, from this came a cosmetic line. Yes, 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 yes. Claudia, ding, ding, ding. Claudia's getting them all right. Yes, it's Eunice W. Johnson. Yes. And she, it's incredible. I don't, Linda's mom. Yes, yes, yes. What's amazing, Leah, I'm not sure if I know Linda, so you have to introduce me to Linda. I didn't know that, but we'll talk about that. Um, what I remember about the Ebony Fashion Fair show was that we had, one of our dear cousins, was one of the women that was very early on and continued throughout pretty much to her passing, actually organizing the shows in Philadelphia. And so my mom, my sisters, they should probably all know this. They should have known that. Um, and it really was. It was a wonderful event. I remember. I think the last show that I got to go to, we were able to be seated by the mayor of. I want to say it was Camden. I'm a Philly girl, so that was like a big deal. And it just was really it was incredible. Yup, Bernice Minor. It was just really incredible to see Black women on the runway, all sizes, and knowing that this was a show that was produced by African American women. So it really was inspirational. I probably went to my first show. I don't know if it was middle school, but I definitely was, definitely at least in high school. I remember going to the fashion fair shows, and during the winters, I worked for Abraham and Strauss when I was in high school, and I actually was a fashion fair counter girl. And so even the makeup brand, and I think I can't remember who has a show out now about the history of the brand, and they're bringing the brand back. But it just, there are such good memories of that brand and what they were trying to do as far as really feature women of color and actually be entrepreneurial. Here's a picture that I have of Miss Johnson, and you can see her there looking like a diva, taking care of business. And this is one of my favorite pics of, probably closer to one of the last couple of shows, but there's Miss Johnson with the various models, and you see there's the closing scene with the wedding there. And it just was really, it was a glamorous thing. The other thing I remember about the Ebony Fashion Fair shows, was not only was it spectacular, um, to see on the runway, but it was also awesome to see the women get dressed to actually go to the show. And so I'm very grateful that my mom took me to the show. So that was always lovely. But it just was, a wonderful time as women, African American women. And, this is like the 70s. So it's not too far. It's not too long ago. But if you think about some of the things that were happening in the 70s, a lot has changed since then. And so what she was bringing that was so unique, and I'm so glad that my cousin, was one of the Philadelphia champions for that. I see Claudia says that her aunt Roberta Took her to the show in Charlotte. Yep, it was fabulous. And that was the other thing because now, I mean, the shows primarily, you have the New York shows and Los Angeles, but she was bringing shows to places that typically did not get fashion shows. And so she was innovative in that way. And actually, Claudia just posted also that you can get the Fashion Fair brand at Sephora. And the brand is now owned by an African American woman. So it's continued to stay in the family. There's amazing, family in terms of African American women, amazing history there. So she was inspiring, and really, and I didn't really think about all that she did until I got much older. But what was inspiring was the moments of the Ebony Fashion Fair show and what that meant as far as being a Black woman. Yeah, Van, I know the shows were just really fun. And it was just wonderful to see that. So my third person, and actually my third person, I don't know, you might not know the name, but I'll start reading. I have posted on her though. So she actually is a family member. So my family should definitely be able to drop in the chat about this. She is known for the thing that I love, 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 and that's hats. And her name is why I'll give the name. It's May Reeves. May Reeves, and we know her affectionately as Mother May. And Mother May, her hats are in the National Museum of African American History. And so Mother May, and I just want to show a picture. I have posted on her. She has been an inspiration for me in thinking about hats. The woman on the far right with the big hat is Mother May. And let me just read for you just a little bit about Mother May. And I said, so Mother May was my mother's godmother. So she was one of the first Blacks to own a storefront on the main corridor of South Street in Philadelphia. Um, the hat shop was May's Millinery Shop, very exciting. And then she was, and this is something I didn't connect until I got older and kind of really started to understand the history. But she was part of the Great Migration from the South to the North. And so she came from Georgia and went to Philadelphia. She opened her hat shop with a $500 loan that she, as a woman, if you think back then, she got on her own. She actually received it from an African American bank. And here's the things that I just love to tout about Mother May and her hats. She dressed the finest of the finest with her hats. She's known for having dressed Ella Fitzgerald, Eartha Kitt, Grace Kelly, of course, Marian Anderson from Philadelphia, and Lena Horne. And so, she was just inspiring, not only dynamic businesswoman, but had amazing taste. Her and her daughter Donna, they actually used to travel. They traveled to source the materials. And once again, if you think back to that time in the 30s and the 40s, when it was not the norm to have an African American woman have a hat store and to be dressing other women is amazing. I do want to share some more pics. I don't know if my mom's like, yep, she's in the Smithsonian. Hold on. Let me show. This is a picture of one of her hats. Just absolutely beautiful. And I remember when we used to go there during the holidays and we used to actually play with the hats. Little did I know that the hats would actually end up in a museum. Here's a picture of her and her son. And if you can see, I mean, it's kind of hard to see the dress, but you see how regal she was. They used to serve champagne in the store. She just had the whole thing going. And this is a picture of her and her daughter, Donna. Donna is a documentarian and who has been really instrumental in keeping Mother May's hats alive. Mother May passed away, Mom, correct me if I get it wrong, I believe at 102. And so she is no longer with us, but is definitely I would say someone that has kind of shaped a lot of how I think about fashion. And it's interesting is lately I've been into hats. So I like to think I got that very natural from her. But one thing that I do remember about Mother May was that not only was she very big into fashion, but she was very big about education. And so when you think about, once again, a woman that was part of the Great Migration, coming from the South to the North, and all that she endured, and to start a business, and then really push her kids, and my mom and everybody to um, to such greatness. It's just an amazing piece to understand. So Mother May and her hats, or May Reeves. So if you go to, I don't know if anybody has seen her hats. They're in the museum. They actually recreated the hat store. Hey, Judith. I'm sorry, that the millinery shop, for as part of the display. But just a really inspiring. Okay, so my fourth woman is someone who she actually, I'll just go. And actually, it's interesting, Judith, that you're here because she is from Detroit. So she's originally from Detroit, and she's known for producing women's ready to wear. The thing that well, actually, I'll just give the name. I don't, because I'm so excited. So Tracy Reese, who has been designing for years, and the thing that I loved about Tracy Reese is that she was one of the first designers, um, my age, kind of my generation, my whatever, that I saw actually take fashion and actually create a business from design. And what I admire about Tracy, when I first learned about her and her brand, I was actually in finance at the time. So I remember following not only the fashion side of her, but really following some of the business challenges that she had as a woman, as an African American woman, and really trying to continue to grow her business. I believe she's back in Detroit. She still is designing, but definitely an individual that, I saw her do different pivots, at one point, and I think she still is, doing a brand with Anthropology. She had her own line. She's shown at Fashion Week. We Detroit. I know, but I remember the ongoing stories of Tracy Reese and really trying to keep that brand going. I do have some pictures of some amazing women in her looks, and she's known for very bright attire. So this is Regina King in a red piece by her, and here is Michelle Obama. And Michelle is wearing, Tracy Reese does a lot in florals, and she's wearing floral. And here is an actual picture of Tracy. And so, she was just inspiring to me to see someone close to my age who basically made a commitment. She was a design student and just made a commitment to really make design and fashion her life. And she's continued to do that. And you can purchase Tracy Reese. Her brand is still out there. Still amazing pieces. And so those are the four women who have inspired me. And when I say that, like, hold on, let me take the picture down. I was just trying to show tonight, as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month, women in fashion that have touched either my style, my interests on the entrepreneurial side, or just business overall, in terms of fashion. So those are my women. And I think what touched me about all of them was just really thinking about all that they must have endured to keep either their brand, their business, or even their families, together in this whole fashion thing. So truly wonderful to see. Um, Hey, Jack. So, as I started the show by saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that it was my 2 year anniversary, I am going to close the show by saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's my 2 year anniversary. And I am so grateful that you all have been hanging with me for these past 2 years. I started the 20-minute fashion distraction because I think I just wanted to get away from the whole thought of COVID. And this was just a great escape. And it's become just a wonderful way to keep connected with you guys, but also just to stay connected with the fashion space. So It's 2 years. We'll see what the next 2 years brings as well. I hope everybody, um, oh, Ollie and Mary Meyer inspired me educationally. Oh, thank you, Mom. Um, I hope everybody um, has a blessed week as we continue to talk about fashion and Women's History Month. Have a great one. Thanks.